Oh boy, here we go. You already know what time it is, everybody. You are live and direct with Petty Sports, Wednesday night edition, 8 p.m. You already know this is the one-stop shop for everything sports. So much on the slate tonight, but I'm sure you see things are a little different. Yeah, I'm holding it down tonight in the fort. Fees off at the Atlanta United game. No big deal, though. You know, it might be someone's birthday. It might not be me. Don't tell anybody, though. We're okay. Gonna have some people calling into the show tonight. Gonna be such a loaded show. But you guys already know it's not about where Petty Sports is. It's about where you listen. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the platforms, YouTube especially. Subscribe, like, comment, call into the show, 678-871-9602. No reason for you not to be in the show tonight, guys. Such a loaded slate. You know those Braves went to the World Series? About to be talking about them so much tonight. Can these Atlanta teams finally do it? And then NFL rookies finally got enough content underneath our belt to be able to chop them up. Who has been the best so far for their team? That's all and more coming up in hour one. But you know, here on Petty Sports, we got to start off the top every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Again, appreciate everybody's time coming into the show tonight. I got a little bit of a gripe with Tom Brady. And I was really shocked. Well, in a way I was, but not necessarily. You know, Tom Brady has kind of had this aura to him ever since he's left New England, coming over to Tampa. We've seen him on TikTok making fun of himself, posting after every game. It's a great W. We know what Tom Brady's doing now in his career. But if you caught Monday Night Football with the Manning bros, some people love them, some people hate them. I think they're quite comical, to be honest with you. Brady was actually on there with them and had a little quote here, and I'll read it to you. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but we'll see how you guys feel about it. Again, 678-871-9602. Quote from Tom Brady here. Do we give them any credit for being smart enough to figure out jumping? I wouldn't. Ever been to a defensive meeting room? You wonder why they play defense, and then after 2 minutes you go, yep, they can never be an offensive player. Defense is like a dog chasing a car. Just get the guy with the ball. Obviously, there are a lot of great defensive players. And the way Brady ended that, I know he's trying to soften the blow, and he's not trying to be out here and call people bad players and whatnot. But let's put this into perspective. First, like I said, there's no surprise that Tom Brady's doing this. He's been like this since he's left New England. And some people say this has been the Tom Brady really of all time. Okay, but now he's out of Belichick's arms and he's able to go and run free in the NFL and do whatever he wants to. But does Tom realize that really the hardest positions in football are on the defensive side of the ball? The second hardest position in football is the cornerback position. You're playing backwards. You're guarding maybe the fastest guy on the field. You're guarding one of the edgiest guys on the field in a wide receiver, maybe in a tight end. But when you're playing corner, your back is to all the action. You are meant to read the quarterback's eyes, who's in a helmet, by the way. God forbid if he's wearing a visor. So for Brady to have this kind of connotation saying that, you know, defensive players don't need to be smart enough to play the game, well, let's put that into perspective a little bit for Tom Brady. So does he realize that a lot of his early Super Bowls were due to defense? Does he realize that a gentleman by the name of Malcolm Butler actually had a Super Bowl winning game-saving interception for you, into which Seattle was about to go back-to-back with Super Bowl rings, which at that time was going to be huge to build that dynasty. But, and for everybody listening, do you realize that in Tom Brady's 19 years, now 20 years of starting in the NFL, he's had a top 10 defense now going on 17 times. What's 17 divided by 20? I don't know. Do the math, close to 85, 90%. So are you going to say your legacy was built by defensive players that don't have enough will to actually, I guess, apply themselves more to be an offensive player? I was really perturbed by this because, you know, Tom Brady, he's a class act guy. Okay, we've seen him with his kids after the game. We've seen Tom Brady, you know, talk to legends in the middle of the field. We've seen them talk to rookies in the middle of the field. And we've also seen Tom Brady not shake a few people's hands from the Super Bowl. So now, with this sort of narrative that he's building about defensive players, it just makes you wonder, who does he really respect when he's on the field? That's kind of the thing that jumped out to me, because for you to be so bold, I mean, there was no hiding it at all. He basically said on national television with two legends, Eli and Peyton Manning, defensive players are not smart. They're not capable enough to be athletic enough to play offense. Literally, you understand why they are not an offensive player. So again, are you saying dumb players helped you in your career? Are you saying that for over 80% of your career, when you've had that top 10 defense to basically stand behind as another brick wall? I mean, your offensive line has already been great. So let's also play some advocate with you, Tom Brady. Are we also going to say that it could be easy for you to just stand back there and throw the football? Are we going to say that you've been saved by Bill Belichick, basically the best defensive coach of all time, potentially the greatest coach of all time? Are you going to say that, can we sit here and say that your offensive lines have saved you from the times that you've been in the NFL? So for all this discrediting from Tom Brady, and I'm convinced, look, it's Manning brothers, hat was backwards. Marshawn Lynch got on earlier in the night. Dude said he took 3 shots ahead. He dropped the F-bomb. Like, the Monday Night Football program with the Manning bros, they're obviously getting guys that are just straight relaxing, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But for Tom Brady to be so loose with the lips, knowing the status that he has in the NFL, and look, I'm not going to sit up here and hate on him, but it did rub me the wrong way. It absolutely did rub me the wrong way. So you're talking about, one, it is so hard to get any sort of vote as a defensive player because the league is so offensively dominated. We're talking about the 70s or the 80s since the last time a defensive player got an MVP award. And for you to just be able to sit here and discredit these guys, that, again, that doesn't sit right with me. And I know Tom will probably have some replies for it. He'll probably have some comments for the media, and he'll be able to back it up and say, look, I didn't mean anything bad by that. But are we just going to discredit a, original Patrick Surtain, a Lawrence Taylor, a Jason Taylor, an original Asante Samuel, a Bob Sanders, a Troy Polamalu? When you think of some of the most impactful people in the NFL on a field, it's when the defense comes through. It's when the defense smacks. It's when the defense makes a play. It's when your offense maybe can't get going, and they're getting that 3rd and out for you on the field. So again, I was really shocked when I first heard about this, because I had to go back and listen to it a few times. I said, no, he put it out there. He 100% put it out there. He meant what he said. And I think Tom Brady owes a little bit of an apology. Not to me personally. It might be my birthday. You don't have to apologize to me, though, Tom. It's okay. I know you're watching. But the NFL, a lot of the legends out there, and I don't know, I didn't dig deep enough through social media and through Twitter to see if there were actually a lot of responses to this. But I was really shocked, Tom. I was really shocked. Absolutely. So that's going to finish it for Off the Top. I know you guys saw the Atlanta Braves in these World Series. And we got a special caller coming in here soon. They're going to break down so much of the season for us. We're going to run back through the season, talk about those 90s Braves a little bit, talk about the late 2010s, mid 2010s kind of Braves where you saw a lot of talent. They ran out the door. You saw Bobby Cox era get ended. We've seen so much of this Braves team. And it feels like, hey, have they been overachieving? That's a good question to ask. But falling short in the NLCS and then the year before basically blowing the game in the first inning, the Braves are here. And the Braves are here to stay. And when you talk about a team being able to absolutely defy the odds, when you talk about a team actually being able to get there without their best pitcher at that point in time and get there without their best outfielder at that point in time, and Ronald Acuna Jr. Caller will be coming in here any second. But let's check in on the chat, guys. Let's see how y'all are doing tonight in the Petty Sports chat room. I don't see anybody yet on YouTube. I'll see you guys yet on YouTube. Are y'all there on Facebook for me? Wesley, I know you're probably there. You're always there every week. Wesley, Jamila. Let's see if, got to get a little refresh here. Let's see if Andre Yelverton from last week might have popped in here with us. Appreciate everybody again popping in tonight. Here we go, hopping into our Facebook chat. Man, I'm so excited about these Braves, though. So excited about these Braves. And when you think about everything they've been through, especially with the last time being to the World Series, and they come out so hot in Game 1. Absolute perfect start. You couldn't have asked for a better start from the Atlanta Braves at that point. Anna O'Brien, what's going on? I resent that comment from Brady considering I favor the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I agree with you. Earlier comment, I'm so sick of Brady's ass. I'm not sick of his play style. And I know he is, again, getting out here with this kind of the loose lips being on social media. But again, at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that shocking from Brady. But to take it to that extent, to literally call legends, players, dumb, I can't ride with it. Not at all. Jamila, what's going on? How are you? Thank you for hopping in tonight. Everybody, don't forget, please subscribe to the show. Like, comment. Someone calling me? Sean, are you calling me? Oh, man. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I think the caller got the wrong number. I'll have to shoot it over to him. Did you guys try to get a call over there? Did you see anything bump in? He said he called, but he didn't see anything. 678-871-9602. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I felt the phone buzzing. I was like, I know he didn't just call me. 678-871-9602. Yeah, he should be popping in. I hope y'all can. There shouldn't be a reason y'all couldn't get his call, right? Yeah, we just tested it before we hopped on. Sean, hang in with us, brother. I know you're out there. I appreciate your patience. I'm sure you're beeping in here any second. So, bed's rocking. Oh, okay. Let me calm down. We got to talk Braves.
From
Sean Buffington.
My brother, Sean Buffington. What is going on, man? Thank you so much for joining Petty Sports. Where are you calling from tonight, brother?
What's up, bro? I'm calling from Kuwait, actually.
Sweet.
Out here right now.
Yeah, I bet it is cold, dude. Hey, so good to have you in the show. Thank you for joining me on the birthday show, bro. I miss you so much. I love you, dog. Let's get into these Braves. So you wrote something really beautiful on Facebook. I think it was this morning, or might have been last night after or before game one. So you had a beautiful timeline of Atlanta's season, and really from, the 80s, 90s, all the way to now. Can you walk me through that a little bit, and let's talk about the history of this team and how they've gotten here?
So like when I became a Braves fan, I was like 8 years old. I went to my first Braves game when I was like, I want to say 3 years old. Didn't really know what was going on. Didn't really start following the Braves till I was like 8 or 9.
Right.
And you grow up in Atlanta hearing about the glory days of the 90s Bobby Cox teams, all that stuff.
Yep.
And then for a good 10 years, there was nothing. It was, constant. The Braves were good, but they weren't good enough to win the division against the Phillies. Then they'd lose in the first round to the Giants.
Yep.
They won a couple division titles back in 2013. Once again, couldn't get it to go in the postseason. I think from 2003 till last year, the Braves did not make it past the first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
Like an 18-year gap where they could not advance.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's not going to lie. It's been a rough time being a Braves fan. But these past few years, with Ronald Acuna coming up, you started feeling like something special was going to go down.
100%.
And, still, he was on the team for the past 3 years, and they just couldn't get it going. Last year they lost the Dodgers in the NLCS after being up 3-1.
Yep.
And so you kept feeling like, okay, maybe it's coming. And then this season with the injuries, losing Marcell Ozuna,
yep,
losing Ronald's the ACL tear, you started feeling like, hey, this isn't looking good. I don't think it's going to happen. I actually remember telling my friend, we were talking about should the Braves sell or buy at the deadline, and I said, look, you've got Freddy Freeman, who's at the end of his contract, needs to be resigned. I said, this season's gone. You're sitting at 2 or 3 games under 500.
Yep.
Around the trade deadline. You're 7 games back of the Mets. Like, they need to sell and maybe make some money to get Freeman back.
Right.
But the front office had other plans.
Absolutely. Like you said here, they ended up going 37-20 to finish out the season, won their 4th division title in a row, and it was on to the postseason. But, and like I said before you got on the phone with this man, having Acuna go down, your best player, no question about it. And you said when he came in, that felt special. You had Soroka, competing for Cy Young, competing for, so many pitching accolades, and then he re-injures himself, and gets a little bit of a setback. But let's talk about game one, man. Game one was absolutely fantastic from the Braves. Give me your initial thoughts on it. I know we came out hot. Is there anything, it feels like the Braves almost played perfectly last night. Nothing now in the bottom of the first, 0-1, 2 outs. We got a runner on first, looks like Albies. Did you see anything from the Braves in game one that you would have changed? They, like I said, they looked really good.
To be honest, that was not the start I was expecting at all. I mean, Soler comes out, second pitch of the game, that ball's gone into left field.
First player, I think, to ever have a leadoff.
First player in Major League history to hit a leadoff home run in the World Series. In Game 1, that is.
Right.
And then, got up 1-0. Started, I could tell it was going to be a good night because they were squaring up the balls. I mean,
100%.
Even Freddie's ground out, Altuve had to make a ridiculously good play even to get him out.
Yep.
And then Austin Riley steps up, gets the double, gets Albies in. Morton comes in, shut down first inning, I guess. I mean, it was kind of scary there for a minute, but he got the job done, got the ground ball to Albies.
Right.
Then you come back out, and they just keep adding on. Duvall gets the home run in the third, and it's 5-0. They become the first team in World Series history to score in each of the first 3 innings.
Yep. Huge for the Atlanta Braves, but no surprise.
Yeah. It's 5-0. You're like, holy crap! Like this is happening.
Yep.
But
We're
then
really
of course,
here.
Morton breaks his leg.
Right.
That was that was rough.
That definitely was rough. I gotta give
it to Morton.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. I got to give it to Morton, though. He struck out 3 guys on a broken leg. That gives me Greg Jennings vibes. And then he apologized that he couldn't do more. It's like, dude, you broke your leg. Like, there's nothing else you could have done.
Absolutely.
But then to see the way the Braves bullpen responded, AJ Minter went out, pitched a career high in pitches, just allowed the 1 run, and it was due to a kind of boot there by Dansby.
Right.
But yeah, everything came together. Never really let them back in, and I really think it was a really team effort late in innings. You had the almost home run off of Matzik that Rosario gets to and fires back into second.
Yep.
To tag, I can't think of his name, but to tag the Astros guy out.
Yep.
So it's really a team effort, and everything went the Braves' way last night. So
100%.
I'm excited, going up 1-0, got a chance to be up 2-0 going back to Atlanta tonight. So
absolutely, brother. Let's make it happen. And you talked about Charlie Morton. 16 pitches on a broken leg, throwing 93, 94 plus, just straight gas to the plate. And being able to have a great inning, does that not describe the 2021 Atlanta Braves season? You're telling us we're going to lose our best player, our best player all around, our best hitter, maybe Freeman up there, but go figure. We love Acuna here. And you're also not going to have your ace coming in. You're not going to be sure at any point in this season. I mean, Sean, I was just talking about, telling the crew here before we got on, man, I apologize to you for not listening. You have believed in this team since it was looking horrible. Like since you said, since they should have been sellers at the trade deadline. So to see this team literally, withstand that type of pressure in Game 1, like Luke Jackson said, we got Charlie Morton on the mound Game 1. We couldn't be happier. So then you have an injury and you have to withstand that. You stay the course. You stay playing great and you play a great game of baseball. But before we hop out of here, man, if you had to choose 3 impact players for this Braves team to just absolutely have to perform night in and night out, it rides on them for the Braves to win the World Series. Give me your top 3 and why.
I got to go with Ozzie Albies. When he's on the base pad, something amazing happens every night. You saw that last night. He gets on with it. See, I think he had 2 infield singles, but he got on with the infield single in the first, able to steal second base, and then Riley doubles him in.
Dude's a speedster.
I also think, if Duvall is swinging the bat the way he's been swinging it, that is a huge sign. He hasn't been great in the postseason.
Right.
But if Duvall's, putting the barrel of the bat on the ball like that, that's a good sign. And I've got to go with MV Free, man. Freddie can get it going, man. Past few games, he hasn't really been getting it going, but the other guys have picked him up. If he can get it going and the other guys can keep having it going, it's going to be a quick series for the Houston Astros.
That's absolutely right. Braves already come out hot in the top of the first inning, 2 hits here. Man, I loved all those players that you just laid out there. I'll start with number 3, and this might shock a lot of people. Ryan, if you're watching, you're welcome for me saying this because he really needs to perform. Give me Luke Jackson at number 3. And I know he let up the 4 runs in the one NLCS game, but do people realize he was basically on no rest that game. Comes back after a few days rest. I think 1 to 3 days rest for the game that he came in 11 pitches, gave up a few runs with the Dodgers again, and he had a lot of heat on his back. He really did. But then you talk about last night, coming in, being absolutely lights out. I mean, the dude was giving up all runs, no strikeouts with those first 2 outings, and then he comes in again, and it's all strikeouts, no runs. You talking about flipping the script, and here's why it's so important for Luke Jackson. One, because the pressure's on you. You're playing for the Atlanta Braves in the World Series. But 2, everybody is having the spotlight looking at you now, especially considering how those couple of games went. And check it out. We're tough down here in Atlanta. Look, we're starved for a championship. Got a great segment coming up there later for that. We are starved for a championship here in the city. I mean, please, somebody help us. It's got to be the Braves. Luke Jackson has to be that confident middle piece to take it home. Number 2, of course, Eddie Rosario. Go ahead. I hear you.
Oh, I was just going to say, even the pitch that Jackson made to Bellinger in that game, I think it was game 3, that Bellinger just, it wasn't a bad pitch.
It wasn't. He chased that. He chased that 100%.
98 miles per hour. At the top of the zone,
right?
In the strike zone.
You're gonna hit a fastball like a few inches below your chin. That's just a great hit by Cody Bellinger. And I'm glad you brought that up because they actually showed a few pitches from that game where it was like up, high, down and inside, below the knees, and like these dudes were just hitting that game. So I am glad that you brought that up. He wasn't pitching horrible, but unfortunately, when you are out there, when you got the pressure that you do, the stakes were so high. I mean, come on now. Same team. You asked for them. Same setting. I mean, let's go. We have the home field advantage. What else are we going to do? So I love you bringing that up. Bringing that up with Luke Jackson there. But, of course, also Eddie Rosario, man. NLCS MVP. Dude went absolutely nuts in the NLCS. I mean, what didn't he do? John Fricky, shout out to Atlanta broadcaster. He said, okay, let's be honest. The top 4 teams of the country right now are Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Eddie Rosario. Like, Eddie Rosario is just absolutely going off this year, man. And when you talk about them rebuilding that outfield with, help me out a little bit here if I fall off, Sean. I know Jacques Peterson, Eddie Rosario, Jorge Soler, and Adam Duvall, if I'm not mistaken. At that point, when they were up 3-1 in the NLCS, the dudes were smacking, the dudes were slugging. I mean, they were not missing anything whatsoever. And then, of course, the last one, I don't have to really elaborate on this. Freddy Freeman, MV Free. He did get some heat early on in the NLCS, but he really picked it up towards the end. I think he went, after going for like 0 for 7 or 0 for 8 in the first 2 games, he was like 6 for 18, so above a 300 hitter.
He went 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts to start the NLCS.
Ooh.
That's unheard of for Freddie. So.
Yeah, heat's on the back there, brother. Yeah, man. Well, real quick before we hop out of here, I already know your answers, but we got to tell the crew. So, who's winning tonight and by how much?
I think if Max Free can get settled in early and the Braves can get some runs early, I think 4-1 Atlanta, 5-1 Atlanta, something like that. But you cannot take the Houston Astros offense for granted. They are ridiculous. They have hit well. I don't know if they're using trash cans this year, but regardless, they're hitting very well. Got some studs with Altuve and Correa. They can bounce back at any moment, but it'd be huge to get game 2. But I'm gonna go Free goes 7 innings, 2-run ball. Freddie's gonna pop one. I feel like Dansby's gonna pop one.
Beautiful.
And I think the Braves will win it 5-3.
Love it, man. Hey, hit this Kobe break with me before you get out of here. Every Wednesday at 8:24, we honor the great Kobe Bryant. I'll count it down. Everybody do it with me. 3, 2, 1. Kobe. R.I.P. to the Mamba. Kobe, we miss you, brother. I know you're up there watching the show every Wednesday, 8 p.m. I know Kobe's commenting, virtually Skyping in. I know we don't see him, but it's okay. I know Kobe's with us tonight. Sean, I appreciate you so much for hopping in tonight, man. Any final words for the Petty Sports crew before you get out?
I have some words for him.
I just want to say,
Sean.
I'll just say this real quick. Since the trade deadline, the Braves won 44 games. The greatest player in Atlanta history to wear number 44 was Hank Aaron. Let's go win this shit for him.
Let's do it, man.
Hey, Sean, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you for your service. A quick question, how do you guys watch the game where you are, and is Atlanta still America's team?
Great question, Bill.
So what I do is I either watch it on the MLB at Bat app. I have a subscription to that, so I just pop in a VPN and watch it.
Okay.
Or I hop on my laptop and use my parents' DirecTV login to watch it.
Cool.
They do show some games out here at the DFAX and stuff. It just depends on time, you know. And I totally missed the second part of your question.
I asked
is the Braves still America's team?
Does a bear doo-doo in the woods, Bill?
I would say yes, the Braves are still America's team. Literally, you got Yankees fans, Dodgers fans, Red Sox, everybody's rooting for the Braves.
Yeah.
So,
Is it because they like the Braves or they just
Braves.
hate the Astros for cheating that year?
Hey, works for me, man. You get all the support behind you. I don't care.
Okay, cool, man. That's what's up.
But
man.
they said viewership for the World Series is up 17% in the past 5 years. So
nice.
maybe it's the Braves. Who knows?
Hey, that's why we have people like you calling, Sean. Sean, I love you, bro. I miss you so much. Thank you so much for your service. You're putting in the ultimate sacrifice right now for your friends, your family, everyone around you. No one's doing it better than you, bro. I really appreciate your time tonight.
I appreciate it, dog. I love you too, man, and it's an honor to serve, man.
Absolutely, brother. I'll see you on the flip side, man. What a great segment, guys.
All right, bro.
We gotta get the callers in tonight. Hey, but don't let that be the first one. For real. Y'all don't get under my skin now with not bringing the callers in. We tell y'all every week. 678-871-9602. Get in the comment section, like, subscribe. It's not about where is Petty Sports. It's really about where do you consume your content. See, no excuses either. It's right there. Absolutely right there on the screen. Get in the comments. Let us know what's going on. We're about to get into the two best games. It's a little quiet weekend in the NFL, but we're about to get into the two best games of the weekend. Let's check the chat out here, though. I hope his defensive players are offended since we play the Bucks this Sunday. Ooh, I hear a we. Who dat said they got? Okay, let me control myself. This is Petty Sports. This is not the Who Dat hotline. Excuse me. But yeah, I hope the Saints kind of rip one out of Brady over there, make him pay for what he said. But let's go ahead and get into this Bengals game. Talk about these Bengals, talk about these Ravens. And I'll just be honest, straight up, if you are a Ravens fan, turn your ears off. I have nothing to say about Baltimore because we've already said enough. We know what they are. We know who Lamar Jackson is. What is shocking, okay, I'll lie, I do have something to say about Baltimore. What is shocking, though, is the fact that you have this Ravens defense absolutely being consistent. When would we ever say a Baltimore Harbaugh defense was inconsistent? Listen to the past point totals for the Ravens here. So 41, 6, 25, 7, 17, 33. Excuse me, let's go backwards from week 1 to now. 33, 36, 17, 7, 25, 6, and 41. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all when you have Marlon Humphrey getting diced up by a rookie, and that's no slight on anybody. Jamar Chase is the top 5 receiver right now in the NFL. I said what I said. Call the show if you want to talk about it. But with this defense literally giving up play after play, like they need to make a move with the line. And we're going to talk about that later also. But the Ravens need to make a move at the deadline because when would we have ever thought this secondary would be this porous? But again, the Ravens have been shaky this season, whether they're tiptoeing around the Lions or they're tiptoeing around the Colts for no reason, blowing out contenders just to get blown out by French contenders. And again, no slight on Cincinnati. You'll hear me say it in a little bit. Who is Zach Taylor? Who is the coaching relay? I love the 5-2 record. They've got it all going in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow. Imagine if they had Mixon actually performing. Jamar Chase, of course, Boyd, Uzomah, or Uzomah, however you say, you know who I'm talking about out there. But just the way the Bengals have really been able to rally. And yes, they are fringe contenders at this moment because of coaching. But I got to stick with it, man. The Ravens have been shaky this season. And I like the Ravens. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say anything bad about them. I'm not trying to say that, they're going to be this team that falls flat on their falls flat on their face. Words. But I gotta give my credit to the Cincinnati Bengals. And, this is an odd outing for Baltimore. So the running backs had no part in this game at all. The first half, Lamar has 8 carries for 63 yards. The running backs, rather everybody else on the team, 7 carries for no yards. So again, And now Lamar Jackson is throwing the football. Lamar can't throw is dead. Okay, we're going to get into that later as well. Lamar can't throw is absolutely dead. You have him leading the league in average depth per target. He's throwing the ball down the field 10, 15 yards every time. They're trying to live and die by the big play. But when you talk about how they weren't able to get any sort of balance in a run game going. Like, this is a team that has always been with the run game. And damn, the Astros just scored. It is 1-0. I know we're past baseball, but I got to keep the city updated as if y'all aren't already watching, but it is 1-0 Astros. But now here, I do have to give the Bengals some credit. So that defense is real. There's no question about that defense. I mean, they were blanketing receivers all game, sacking Lamar for the most times in his career, not letting him get any sort of easy throw off. And when you see a Bengals team that is absolutely shocking everybody right now in the NFL, I mean, there's no question about that. What this Bengals team is finally doing with all the talent they've acquired, everybody's happy about it. I'm happy for the Bengals. I want to see them do a lot. I'm loving Joe Burrow. I'm loving Jamar Chase. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about them. But when you talk about them actually building a true elite second level to deal with run games, like the Colts can have at times, or the Titans are going to have at times, or the Ravens or the Browns, or even when, shout out to the Saints getting Mark Ingram back, we're going to have boom and zoom again. I'll stay off that though. I know I got to behave tonight. It's okay. But when you talk about them actually building an elite second level with Cincinnati, you can't say anything bad about it. You can't. They're putting the guys out there. They're hitting on draft picks. They're doing what they got to do. And let's talk about Joe Burrow being protected. Like, everybody kind of wanted to get on me for when I said, oh, they should have taken this O-lineman higher. Well, check it out. Either way, they got some help for the O-line. Here's a crazy stat for all you Burrow Bengal lovers out there. When Joe Burrow is sacked more than 3 times, Cincinnati is 1-7-1. And I'll make it real simple for you. They've won 1 game. They've tied 1 game. And they've lost 7 games when Joe Burrow is sacked only 3 times, not even once a quarter. If Joe Burrow was sacked 3 times in a game, they are 1-7-1. And he had the best game of his career, tying for the most touchdowns in the game, absolutely comfortable, the most air yards he's ever had in an attempt. Joe Burrow threw for over 400 yards on that Ravens defense. 200 of those yards came from Jamar Chase on that Ravens defense. But again, is it still that Ravens defense? They're giving up points wildly consistently. I don't know what's going on with Marlon Humphrey. I mean, when you're talking about a rookie taking advantage of a top 5, 7, 10 corner, whatever you want to say, in this league, you got to give credit to the Bengals. You got to give credit to what they're doing. And now the final question is, who is Zach Taylor? Because he was on my hot seat coming in. You got Joe Burrow. You got Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. A good offensive line now, kind of. Joe Burrow is actually setting records behind a bad offensive line for rookies. So the question is, who is Zach Taylor? It's a 5-2 record. We see the defense. And of course, the offense is putting up points. The defense actually should get more credit than it really does. But I guess we won't go there too much. I'll just let the numbers speak for themselves when Cincinnati's down the road. So I'll leave you with that question. Who is Zach Taylor? He will decide the fate of this team, not the talent, not the players, not the attitude, not the chemistry. The head coach of that team is going to decide how far they will go. Who are they in the big moment? Who is Stafford in the big moment? Who is Cliff Kingsbury in the big moment? That's my question. That's my reservation with the Bengals. Love what they're doing, 5-2. They're inching towards that taking them seriously contender status, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, another blowout of the weekend, and nobody can sit up here and tell me that the Tennessee Titans, Wesley Davis, you better be calling the show with everything you say every week about your Titans. 678-871-9602, Wesley. I need you to come through, brother, because your Titans, I know they beat the Chiefs. I know Josh Allen slipped on a, little banana peel, and maybe they should have won because they got outgained, outplayed, more yards. We're not going to go into that, okay? They've got the record. They're sitting there in the division. And so the question now is, we saw the offseason moves, Julio Jones, people coming in. A.J. Brown's there now. Ryan Tannehill's getting very, very, very comfortable. Derrick Henry's going to break records this year. So are the Titans finally hitting that peak form? Are the Titans finally going to be, well, that's funny. Let's not even say finally. Let's not forget who these Titans were back in the year that they rallied and blew Baltimore out of the water. They were leading the league in big plays, chunk plays, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards. The Titans were leading in that. Might not have been leading, but I know they were top 3. Ryan Tannehill, through his first X amount of starts, comparing it to Mahomes, comparing it to Russell Wilson, the dude was balling out. Derrick Henry has not slowed down. You know what I told y'all last week? Newsflash, Derrick Henry has not been figured out. He's not been slowed down. I think he's going to smash both of those records. Julio Jones is coming into his form. A.J. Brown is coming into his form. And so, and when you talk about this Titans team that the last 2 seasons have been up there in turnover margins. So they can play defense. They can take the ball away when it really matters. They can go when the going gets tough and not fold. And that's a lot of credit to Mike Vrabel. That's a lot of credit to that scouting team. That's a lot of credit to that coaching staff. Because when you talk about, and don't think I'm sitting up here saying, oh my God, the Titans are Super Bowl contenders. They're going to run away with it. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Titans are going to go 15-2 and they're going to beat the Bucs. No, I'm not going to sit up here and say that. But you can't deny the fact that the Titans right now look like they're hitting their peak form. And Ryan Tannehill, before we move here to these amazing NFL rookies, again, 678-871-9602. It's always the Who Dat hotline. That's right, Michael Darby. It's my damn birthday. We're talking Saints all day. I shouldn't even be working it. It's a boycott. No, I'm kidding. You guys know I'm kidding. I love y'all. I love y'all up here at the studio. KBS, Petty Sports has done me so right. Jamila, of course the NFL was quiet this weekend. The mighty Black and Gold was on their bye week. You know the Black... okay, never mind. Yeah, where is it? But final thing here before we move to these awesome NFL rookies. So Ryan Tannehill is so comfortable. He is not fazed by anything. Big throws, not fazed by the pressure, being able to move outside of the pocket. Just really making those plays for his team. And again, it reminds me of that 2019 Titans. And they've been kind of quiet this year, sifting through some games and whatnot. But after Bills W down to the wire, I don't care if Josh Allen slipped. They know that they can take that team down to the wire. I know they were outgained. I know there was more first downs. I know there's more plays. I understand all that. We're not digging into the numbers here. We're talking about how they were able to meet the Bills. They're able to absolutely shut down the Chiefs. One of the worst games Mahomes has ever played in his career. Andy Reid was outcoached. You got to give the credit to the Titans. And I don't say they're fringe contenders. I say they are contenders because they've proven it. They've been there. They've got a system. They've got Mike Vrabel. And they know what they're doing at the end of the day. And they're the best team in their division. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about the best rookies in the NFL through 7 weeks. Not necessarily power rankings, but let's just pull some guys, talk about how great they've been, maybe some numbers, what they've done for their team. So without further ado, let's hop in. Again, guys, 678-871-9602. If I'm talking total smack up here, God, this guy won't hush. Call up here and shut me up. Call up here and bring me a topic. Bring me a question. Bring me something controversial. I'm here for it. Make my birthday good. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so Ja'Marr Chase. Finally figured out how to spell his name. So disrespectful. I'm the grammar Nazi. Everybody knows that. Shout out to the lady. She knows that as well. Ja'Marr Chase. If these were power rankings, this would absolutely be number 1. Elite hands, elite route running. The guy was totally fooling everybody talking about he couldn't catch the ball with the right strike. Yada, 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 yada. First in yards per catch. Second in yards. Third in yards per game. And he is tied. Oh, let's make it go, baby. You know we'll stop for a Braves home run. 1-1. Yes, sir. Yeah, we ain't stopping. Travis d'Arnaud, first home run of the postseason. I should have mentioned him. He needs to pop, but man, we got so much power. Woo-hoo. See, the Braves care about my birthday. They're hitting out here, hitting dingers for your boy. All right. But anyway, I mean, we know about Ja'Marr Chase, tied for 3rd in touchdowns. He will break the rookie receiving yard record, and I'll even go a step further and say he will flirt with Randy Moss's rookie touchdown record of 17 yards. And it's not Randy Moss's receiving yard record anymore. It is Justin Jefferson's. And another thing, I didn't know if I would ever sit up here and say that Ja'Marr Chase was going to be better than Justin Jefferson, but let's not be silly. They both were thrown to by Joe Burrow. They both played for LSU. They know what they're doing there. Another guy, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, go ahead. Bring it on, Falcons fans. I know y'all are probably going to come down on me because I said some stuff about Pitts. I never downed the guy, though. Okay, I tried to talk him down from the pedestal that everybody was putting him on. But when you talk about the most receiving yards by a tight end through 6 games, 471, there's no surprises to Kyle Pitts' game. He's playing exactly like he did in Florida. Big guy, monster frame, super strong. I mean, he is a mismatch for anywhere on the field. Don't think about putting a linebacker on him. He can possibly outrun your corner and your safety as well. And the Braves just continue to put hits up on the board. Let's absolutely go. But Kyle Pitts just wreaking hell for everybody in the NFL. And, you know, Atlanta just needed some more time to work with him. Again, the most receiving yards through 6 games by a tight end. The dude looks great. I wonder if Atlanta's going to take the leap. Again, call the show if you think this would be something great to debate. This is a fantastic topic here. Would Kyle Pitts be better potentially move to a slot receiver position? Not better, but I think he would be more effective. He would get more of a role. Either way, though, he's absolutely went off. And Kyle Pitts has more receiving yards than Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, Robert Woods, DeAndre Hopkins, Darren Waller, Adam Thielen, and Keelan Allen. But hey, who's counting? I am. That's right. You know I'm the nerd guy over here. You know I bring the numbers every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Micah Parsons, also another absolute rookie who has been crushing it for the Dallas Cowboys. And people talked about him moving to defensive end in the first 3 weeks of the year. It was a major story. He played very well, putting his hand in the dirt, competing with Aaron Donald type numbers. Yes, you heard me correctly. Aaron Donald type pressures, Aaron Donald type quarterback hits just through the first few weeks of the NFL. Take that how you want. It takes, people a minute to warm up here. But when you're talking about him now playing in the linebacker position, his speed is elite at this position. When I look at him, I think of a Deion Jones. I think of a Fred Warner. I think of a, sophomore out there in Arizona, Isaiah Simmons, a guy that can wear so many hats, who can be so effective, who can get coverage into so many parts. It might not be beneficial, I guess, for him to play man or to play a certain type of zone, but Micah Parsons is a Swiss Army knife. He's like Taysom Hill at the defensive position. Yeah, I'm going to make the Saints reference because they are playing with the same type of wearing multiple hats on a team early on to build that chemistry. Micah Parsons absolutely looks great. And if Dallas will continue to use him in multiple situations, I just think Dallas, at the end of the day, will have a defense that's going to be able to have a true captain. Like who's it been, I guess, since Sean Lee left? I guess since DeMarcus Lawrence. Some of these people that we don't hear a whole lot about anymore. Excuse me, Cowboys fans, for you come for him, but I'm just saying a true captain for that defense will be great. And if you're talking about a guy who's young, motivated, hungry, hasn't been paid yet, be ready to pay that man, though. You got to look at Micah Parsons, no question. Let's talk about the Georgia boy, Azeez Ojulari. Second-round pick, I believe, to the New York Giants. And the kid has 5.5 sacks, leads all rookies, and that is actually 7th in the NFL for total sacks for Azeez Ojulari. Give me a little mouthful there. Dude's playing great, though. When you talk about 5.5 sacks as a rookie, week 7 itself, 2.5 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, 4 quarterback hits, and 5 tackles. Put this into perspective. Chase Young won Rookie of the Year. Oh, we got a caller. Someone listen to the 678-871-9602. What's your name? Where are you calling from, good friend? Hello. How are you tonight?
Yo.
What it is?
What's going on, Adam? Carlos.
Hey, Carlos Diaz, my boy from Fortnite to Petty Sports. What's happening, brother?
What's going on?
What you got on your mind tonight? Give it to me.
Nothing. Just came to talk some football, talk some Braves.
Thanks, man. Thanks for calling the show. You got anything special to say to the viewers tonight? You got something you want to debate? Think Kyle Pitts should be moved to a wide receiver? You called in because I'm talking about your Giants player? Who's from Georgia? 5.5 sacks, 7th in the NFL.
Just came to say go Braves.
That's right, baby.
I'm done talking about some stuff, though.
What'd you say?
Yeah. I'm done talking football, though.
All right, man. Well, tell me what you think about.
Kyle Pitts is a top 5 tight end in the league right now. I'm down with that.
Yeah, okay. What makes you say outside of the numbers that Kyle Pitts is a top 5 tight end in the NFL right now? So you're telling me, I'm giving it to you. We got a sponsor break here in a second, so I'll let you take the rest of the segment, my good friend. So you're telling me he's better than, or he can fall behind. Well, George Kittle's hurt. So Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant. I think I could give you 5. Yeah, only really because Kittle's injured, and that's not a slight on Kyle Pitts, but he's still got a way to go.
I'm having trouble hearing you, Adam. I'm gonna be honest.
No, it's okay, man. Can you hear me better now? Do you have the show on in the background? Do you have something going on in the background?
No, nothing. I'm driving right now. But
okay.
I have my AirPods in.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'm sorry if it's can you hear me any better now? If not, I might just have you call back in later.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit clearer now.
Okay, cool. Real quick, in probably about a minute or less, what makes you say that Kyle Pitts is a top 5 tight end already in the NFL? Falcons fans, turn your ears on.
And his speed.
His size and his speed?
Size and speed, bro.
Yeah.
He's a mismatch for anybody.
Yeah.
Who are you going to put on him?
Right. I mean, the dude runs a 4.4. He's the size of DK Metcalf and Megatron, and he can make any catch on the field. Yeah, that's hard. I mean, it's definitely hard. No question. He's probably
even to call him a tight end is kind of crazy. Like,
right.
He lines up as a wide receiver on every single snap.
Exactly.
And he's not out there to block. Like, he's not a blocker.
Right. Right. People were talking about that in the draft. He needs to block more. Oh, okay. So you want a guy who's going to probably catch 1,500 yards in his prime to block? Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Come on now. Hey, well, I appreciate you calling in, man. We're about to hit our sponsor break, but Carlos, love you, bro. Miss you. Appreciate you calling into the show tonight.
All right, Adam.
And
love you too, man. Miss you too, bro.
Keep it easy, brother. Peace. All right, Mike Bell, Beezy, baby. I'm going to throw it over to you so you can pay these bills for KBS and Petty Sports, sir.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. Happy birthday to you. And
thank you, my brother.
You know what I'm saying? Glad to be here to celebrate with you. You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. You are here once again, 8 o'clock, like every week, supporting the show. Petty Sports brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you right here with the crew, making it do what it do. You know, we 1 quart show today, but 1 quart low, but we're going to keep it in the road. Famous Facts Fees not in the building, but, we're going to keep it 100 like we always do, right? So continue to share the show. Thank you for everybody that has already. If you haven't, what are you waiting on? We are COVID-free because it's just a matter of clicking that button. Click the button and, you know what I'm saying, you can share some goodness with some people, all right? You know what I'm saying? You know, you can do it nice and slow or however you want to do it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Put it on your man cave or in your she shed up there on your Boxcast smart TV, right? You know what I'm saying? On Roku, you just type in Boxcast. Once you get the Boxcast, you hit Kingz Broadcasting, Kingz with a Z, and you can see the show live right there on the big screen in front of everybody, right? So you can have a split screen watching the game, and on the other side, you know, you can watch the Petty Sports. All right, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody in the A for the Braves doing their thizzle in the World Series. The Hawks on tonight doing their thing against New Orleans. They're at halftime. They're down by 6 right now. So, hey, love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Go to Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, all that, man, and check out the previously aired shows on the different podcast platforms. Go like, follow, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you will be notified when these guys go hot. You can tune in right away. Call in 678-871-9602. 678-871-9602. Call in. You know what I'm saying? Wish our guy Adam a happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to everybody that's in the chat room. Jamila, Andre. You know what I'm saying? Did I say Andre? I meant to say Anna. Is there Andre in there also?
Yeah, Andre Overson.
Okay, yeah, Anna.
Stafford was the best quarterback in the
Okay, all right. We got YPK on deck as well. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Like I say, continue to share the show. We love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Go to KingzBroadcasting.com. Spend some money. www.KingzBroadcasting.com. That is with a Z. KingzBroadcasting.com. Go to the bottom of the screen on the page and hit the donate button. Spend some money with you guys. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate it. We love you. Now back to the regular scheduled program. ATL, ho.
You already know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. 8:48. We are almost at the top of the hour. 8:47, wherever you might be. You know, if you're on the West Coast, little 5:48. We're not going to get into that. Either way, you are here on Petty Sports. We start at 8 p.m. every single Wednesday. It's not about where Petty Sports is. It's about wherever you're at and what you're listening to your content on, especially YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Go holler at us on there. Again, call the show 678-871-9602. I will keep saying it, and I will say it 100 more times, so don't ask if I'm going to stop, because it's my birthday, and I can do what I want to. It's my show right now. Thank you. Next. I'm kidding. Y'all know I'm not too serious up here. We're up here to relax, have a good time. But now we're about to talk some serious businesses. Serious business here. Top 10 NFL quarterbacks through week 7. NFL QB power rankings week 8, whatever you want to call it. Either way, we're talking about the top 10 dudes taking the snap. They are behind the center. They are calling the shots. They are running the team. Who are the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL today? I'll give you Atlanta fans some love. Yep, I already revealed it. Give me Matt Ryan at number 10. And we know he clearly loves Kyle Pitts. We were just talking about how great Kyle Pitts is. We don't need to continue to go on about him. But when you talk about, and again, this is no slight to Matt Ryan. When you talk about, like, if you were to write a book on quarterbacking, I could argue that Matt Ryan could be a co-author of that book. The mechanics are always clean. He always has his eyes downfield. He doesn't necessarily make dumb plays. Outside of the 3-pick game against the Bucs, he's got 1 interception outside of that game. So he's taking care of the ball. Yeah, he's not really throwing it around the yard and, giving you 18 to 22 touchdowns like some of the MVP conversation guys are. But he's still out there playing well. He's still out there taking care of the football. And at the end of the day, he is good, not special. It does have to be set up for him to really hit that higher level to get to that ceiling. Braves just overthrew the ball, and it looks like the Astros are going home 4-1. Oh, man, you turn your head to talk quarterbacks, and the Astros take off. Oh, man. Oh, geez. All right. But Matt Ryan at number 10, no question about that. Number 9, and you could have flopped him here, but I would argue that Derek Carr at number 9 has had a more consistent season than Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan took a couple weeks there before he got on his win streak to actually start playing well, get the ball to Kyle Pitts. We've seen the last 2 games, Kyle Pitts absolutely going off. But with Derek Carr here at number 9, he was a clear MVP candidate through the first 4 weeks of the NFL, and then he slowed down with Miami. We had the Gruden firing. People kind of started figuring out how to catch on to the Raiders, and overall, we slowed down Derek Carr. But outside of those 2 games, he has not thrown for any less than 300 yards in a football game. And if you want to talk about a step up, I guess a progress play for Derek Carr, go take a look at the 43-yard toss to Zay Jones this past week. He wasn't making those throws a couple seasons ago. Straight up, like the last time he was probably engineering a play or a throw like that was the MVP year. And I think he's reached the point where he can now dissect a defense maybe earlier on in the game and get to the point of what they're doing. Hey, you're not going to throw this scheme at me. I'm Derek Carr. I got Darren Waller. I got Henry Ruggs. I got Hunter Renfrow. I'm in Vegas, baby. He is a number 9 quarterback in the NFL right now. Number 8, and incoming Bills fans, good Lord, yes, I revealed it. Josh Allen is at number 8, but before you start hooping and hollering and calling the show and commenting and all that stuff you should do because you're listening to some fire sports content right now, Josh Allen has not played well for a decent part of this season. Through 2.5 quarters with the Texans, it was nothing. The opener against the Steelers was nothing. Yeah, it was week 1, but wow. Week 2, nothing. He was looking more like that, first year, second year Josh Allen, not the Josh Allen we saw last year. And now you've got the signing, and some people are saying, does he have the worst contract in football because he's so inconsistent and he's really only played a few, in the grand scheme of things, a few good games out of the multiple seasons go do the math. He has played bad more than he's played good at this point in his career. Straight up. There's no question about it. But even better, according to Pro Football Focus, Allen has more turnover-worthy plays than anybody I'm going to tell you about in this top 10. And once you hear the top 10, take the list, cross-reference it, go to PFF, try to find where I'm wrong. You're not going to. Because I looked at that stat, and Josh Allen is going to continue to make these silly decisions. And he's going to continue to have some turnover-worthy plays. I'm not saying he's bad. I like Josh Allen. He is literally he's a bigger Watson. He's a bigger Mahomes. He's a bigger Wilson. He's a bigger Aaron Rodgers. Like, yeah, he can make those throws. He can move. He can read a defense. But it's when it gets streaky with reading the defenses, understanding what's going, and there's another runner on third for the Braves. Sean, I know you said 4-1 Braves, but it's 4-1 Astros right now. We'll keep moving on. Everything's going to be okay. Look, we're just going to do the show. We're going to have the same mojo, and we're going to flip back around, and the Braves are going to be leading. Number 7 quarterback here on my top 10 NFL QBs through week 7, headed into week 8. I didn't want to put this young man this low either, but I do have Justin Herbert, quarterback of the Los Angeles Chargers. And again, it's no slight to him being at number 7, but this top 10 is so loaded, and he's just incrementally, gradually lower than the others. He's a sophomore, and he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Okay, like he has already overachieved, bunch of records, touchdowns, out for the Braves. He's not going to try him. That's what I'm talking about because you know better than to run on our center fielder here, buddy. But Justin Herbert, again, he's a sophomore. He's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. In his second year in the NFL, it is okay. And he's coming off a blowout loss to the Ravens. That was the second worst game of his career. And now he is going to advance to play Bill Belichick, who absolutely flabbergasted him. He was ran amok, led astray, bamboozled, hoodwinked, every bit of it in the shutout loss to the Patriots last year. Played one of his worst games. And, here is the thing as well. 4 picks and 1 fumble shows that he is taking care of the football early and often. He went 3 straight games with no interception. And before the Baltimore game, he had no fumbles since week 1. So you got to put that into perspective for Justin Herbert. Number 6, here's where we get chippy. Fees is going to come play red light, green light with me for putting this man at number 6. Matthew Stafford, the number 6 quarterback in the NFL. I said what I said. Get into comments. Let me know. I know y'all are probably going off over here. Yes, sir. I know you're talking about the World Series. They're cooking right now. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Jamila. Thank you so much, Andre. Y'all are truly the best. Without you, there is no us. Number 6, Matthew Stafford. And although he has fallen short somewhat in his one big game of the year against the Cardinals, he did have some overthrow issues. But overall, we've said it time and time again. There is no question that Matthew Stafford has what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. There's no question that he's talented. There's no question that he can make any throw. There's no question that he is pretty intelligent. And now he is surrounded by some great weapons. And look, things change when your expectations are different. Things change when your environment's different. Things change when your weapons are different. And Matthew Stafford, I got to say the guy's performing because, again, he's always been talented, but when it comes to the big decisions, when it comes to the late game, when it comes to being in the playoffs, when it comes to maybe making that one throw, where is Matthew Stafford? Where was he in the Cardinals game? I mean, we saw him with some overthrows in other games he had no business overthrowing in. And I'm not sitting up here just complaining about overthrows, but with Matthew Stafford, it has been a knock on him in his career. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the number 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. Lamar cannot throw, is officially dead. Look, don't try to tell me that he can't throw the football. He's 814 yards away from matching his total from last season. He's on pace to throw for 4,700 yards this year. He's 7th in the NFL. Don't tell me Lamar Jackson can't throw the football. If you say Lamar can't throw, you're not watching football whatsoever. His poise in the pocket and understanding that he needs to be a better passer at this point in his career, in his career, is really what's making him shoot up in these quarterback rankings. And when you talk about him leading the league, like I said earlier, in the average depth of target on his throw. So he is attempting and also converting, but again, living and dying by the big pass plays, by the home run plays, by the way it's going to, turn out overall. Number 4, Dak Prescott. And you could argue that Dak Prescott is number 2 on here, but he, of course, is not Tom Brady intellectually whatsoever. He's not going to be an Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be some of these guys that are more up on the list. Yeah, I kind of revealed it to you a little bit. But with Dak Prescott at number 4, I love the athleticism. I love the decision-making, the accuracy, being second best in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken, behind Kyler Murray. Off of the injury, with the mobility, and the way he's able to make throws, I got to give Dak Prescott his flowers, absolutely. He's playing the best football of his career off of an injury, no question about it. Number 3, the reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers. And, he is quiet, but he's dicing it up with 6 straight W's right now. He still needs some pass-catching help outside of Devontae Adams. We're going to see how resourceful he's going to be on Thursday night. And at the end of the day, I think he was better last year than this year. But I think we have another caller. Let's go. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Tom Brady. Number 1, Kyler Murray. Enough said. Caller, what you got, man? What's your name? Where you calling from? Give me the business.
What's up, bro? It's Andrew.
Hey, what's up, Stanfield? How you doing, man?
Birthday.
Thank you, bro. I really, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Hey, I just mentioned you, dude. I know he's not there anymore, but do you believe Tom Brady is still the second best quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, man. So I was actually at the game this weekend. I went to Tampa.
Nice.
He was a Pats fan with me, but he converted. He's on the bandwagon. But I still support the guy. He's still going crazy, man. Like, he's got the weapons. If their defense gets back right, they're going to be right back there.
Yep.
I absolutely think he's at least top 2 in the league.
Yeah, 100%.
Going crazy, putting up numbers. Extra game this year, too. He's going to break hella records, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll get the touchdown record. I think he'll get the yards record. No question about that. And here's the thing. Even if Tom Brady comes out within the next few years and only throws for 3,500 or 4,000 yards with, all the time he's going to have in the weapons, his intellect, his brain, the way he sees the game, like, you can't fool him. The reason he played that way, and I'm sure you saw it against New England, is because Belichick knew the guy. Like, you know, Fees that sits up here, the host of the show, man. He said, if anybody can pull a defensive scheme out of their back pocket, it's going to be Bill Belichick. He's been sitting on a defensive plan for 20 years, so when Brady got traded, he knew he could pull it out on him. He absolutely knew he could pull it out on him. So, yeah, man, I love that you agree that Tom Brady is the second best quarterback in the NFL, and if he could throw on the run, we might have to call him the first best. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He's extremely consistent. He takes care of the football well. Andrew, you still with me, brother?
That staple.
Yeah, you are.
He's got that old school style. He's not with the legs, but he still gets it done with his arms.
Mm-hmm.
He's a presence back there in the pocket. You look out for him always. Like you're never looking out for Leonard Fournette first. You're looking out for those receivers because they got Tom Brady at the helm.
Yep.
In my opinion, I think they're going to put up a pretty good fight going forward again.
100%, brother. 100%. Well, hey, Andrew, I appreciate you so much calling in tonight, brother. We're about to hit the top of the hour. Hey, call again later on if you want, bro. We got so much to talk about, and I might be mentioning your boy Mac Jones also. All right, Bell, I'm going to throw it back to you, man. Top of the hour break before we roll into the second half of the show. Man, it's been so fun. 678-871-9602. It is my 24th birthday. I know you didn't ask, but I told you. Bell, take it away.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in here tonight like you do every Wednesday at 8 o'clock to Petty Sports, all brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being in the chat room, chopping it up. We see you out there. We love it. Thank you for the callers, man. You know, the Petty Sports line jumping tonight, right? So go over to iHeart, Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Book of Face, whatever you want to call it. Just like, follow, share, subscribe, and support the show. We greatly appreciate you for doing so. If you haven't, go ahead and do us a big, big favor and click the notification bell, subscribe to the YouTube page, and hit the emojis. Let us know how you feeling out there. You know what I'm saying? If you like what Adam's doing, this is his first solo show on Petty Sports.
Training wheels on.
Yeah, he's he had his own podcast originally. I won't say this is his first show. This is his first time on the Petty Sports platform where he's done a solo act, so
I won't lie, this was my first 2-hour live show completely by myself, and I was pretty nervous walking in, but I'm having a hell of a time thanks to the team, man.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. So shouts out to Adam. He's doing a great job tonight, in the absence of fees. I know he'll be proud if he was watching, but he's out there with the Atlanta United supporting that crew tonight. They're down 1-0 at halftime. I don't know what the score is right now, but yeah, so keep calling in 678-871-9602, 678-871-9602. That's how you can be a part of the show tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Go to kingsbroadcasting.com, buy some merchandise. We got tumblers, T-shirts, hoodies, all that, man. Mugs, just whatever you want to do over there. This is the holiday season rolling in here shortly. And our supply chain is good. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you order over there, we can get it to you. And it won't be a problem. So support. We greatly appreciate it. Support black business, support black businesses, because we do ATL, ho. Now back to the regular scheduled program. A big shouts out to Taylor, our in-studio guest tonight. You know what I'm saying? She's here celebrating with our guy Adam tonight. So, yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And she came bearing gifts. We got cookies and donuts and, I think they got sprinkles on them. You know what I'm saying?
She dropped the ones that she made, man.
My bad.
No, you good, brother. You good. What's going on, everybody? Top of the hour, Wednesday night, 9:03 p.m. Eastern time. We start every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, though. So if you're just now tuning in, you're an hour and 3 minutes late. But it's okay. The podcast will be out. The show will be out tomorrow. You'll be able to see everything. We're going to be posting the content like we always do. 678-871-9602. Call, like, comment, sub, bell, follow, everything. If you think you should do it for Petty Sports. Because it's Petty Sports. We're the best show in Atlanta, talking everything sports. And let's get into an awesome segment here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially cuffing season for the NFL. The NFL trade deadline is coming up. And there's some players out there right now. It's getting cold outside. They're feeling a little bit lonely. They want to find a new team to snuggle up to, make them feel valuable. Say, hey, what can I do for you, baby? How can I help you out? How can I help you get to the level that you want to be this year in the NFL? So I've got 5 players here. The NFL trade deadline will be next Tuesday, so we will be going live the day after it all transpires. Shout out to my New Orleans Saints bringing Mark Ingram back. Maybe a little more boom and zoom here, but we won't get on the Saints. I'm going to start at the top. Odell Beckham Jr. Who's going to take the chance? Who's going to cuff him? Who's going to let him come over, snuggle up to him, give him a little value? What can you do for us? I got to say it's the Green Bay Packers, 100%. You give Aaron Rodgers another weapon outside of Devontae Adams, and really, it feels like an unhealthy wide receiving core at this point. Where the hell is Robert Tonyan? Dude had 10 touchdowns last year. I want to say he led the NFL in touchdowns for tight ends. No, that was probably Travis Kelce. Either way, we know the type of year that Bob Tonyan had, and he's just absolutely disappearing. MVS being kind of inconsistent. We know about Allen Lazard. It's always kind of up in the air, but Devontae Adams every game, getting his targets, getting his catches, yards, touchdowns. We know about that. If you can actually get OBJ's talent back to an elite level in an offense who has an aerial attack that's not going to be a Giants team that's absolutely struggling, that is, and they always have really, in recent years. And then you talk about a Browns team where you sent Odell over there to die, but now he's not even getting thrown the ball. I mean, yeah, he had the 1,000-yard season the first year, gets hurt the last year. I think he's missing another game this year already. So, we know he's kind of got some glass bones and paper skin type of thing going on. But either way, let's not forget that Odell Beckham Jr. coming into the league, his first 3 years, yes, I am talking about 5 to 7 years ago, but just put this into perspective. Odell Beckham Jr. was a 96-catch, 1,374-yard, 12-touchdown receiver in his first 3 years in the NFL. We talked about him after the catch. We talked about him as maybe the best receiver of all time. I never said that blasphemous statement. But people said that about OBJ. He's talented. We know he's talented. He wants to be fed the ball. He's a guy that's going to get 150 targets a year. I mean, maybe 200. God, who knows? I mean, we've seen the way Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson. We've seen the way these guys can get fed. But if you talk about OBJ getting cuffed up by those Green Bay Packers, going and giving Aaron Rodgers a little hug, he won't kick you out of bed. He needs you. Trust me. Aaron Rodgers would like to have you in Green Bay. Now let's talk about Marlon Mack. Yes, Indianapolis Colts running back, who is not even Marlon Mack last year had the lead running back role, RB1 for the Indianapolis Colts. And then, of course, Jonathan Taylor, best running back in the draft at the time. Don't at me. Actually, you can at me, 678-871-9602. Let me know what you think about that one. Jonathan Taylor was the best running back in the draft last year. There's no question about that. And when you look at how he's taking the role now, you look at a guy at Marlon Mack who was a veteran, who was able to play, who was a pretty reputable back in this league for quite some time. No, he was never if you want to get nitpicky, he was never your top 10, top 15 guy, but he could still play. I mean, he's still a dude out there that you send him to a team like the Cleveland Browns. I mean, let's not forget that Kareem Hunt is on IR right now. That screams Marlon Mack to this team, if you ask me. Chubb is banged up as well. But you also want to take a look at maybe the Ravens. Let's not forget that the Ravens lost J.K. Dobbins. The Ravens lost Gus Edwards. And now you're talking about their fourth running back missing time this year. You're asking a Devontae Freeman who has not been anything really since the Falcons Super Bowl year. Let's just call it how it is. Yeah, he had that game against the Saints where they came to the Dome and blew him out 28-9 or something, whatever. We remember the game. I know you Falcons fans do because I definitely remember it. But when you when you talk about Devontae Freeman, I mean, he hasn't been anything in years. When you talk about Le'Veon Bell, attitude, diva, that doesn't. I don't know what's up Lev Bell. Honestly, he's not the Le'Veon Bell that he was before, the pre-Alvin Kamara, the pre-Christian McCaffrey, because, go look at his numbers. He was doing that type of stuff before it was really prominent in the NFL, really how it is today. Let's move on to, let's not move on. So another team I think that he could actually be valuable for is I'm going to say the Atlanta Falcons, because Mike Davis has been absolutely nothing this year. We know Atlanta went out on a leg and tried to grab him. Wade Gallman has played 3 games all year, not really much production, and he is, of course, better, in my opinion. Marlon Mack is better than those 2 that I just named, and if you get him with a meshing of a Cordero Patterson, you could potentially put Patterson more in your slot. I know he's really doing more on the wide receiver side of the ball, and shout out Atlanta, he's going to have maybe his career year, and that's not saying a whole lot, but you look at the numbers, and I mean, they're making it work for Cordero Patterson. You bring in Marlon Mack, and I think that could be some value there. Now let's talk about Akeem Hicks, defensive lineman from the Chicago Bears, and let's talk about him going to the Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers right now, need to stop the run at all costs. They give up the second most. As a matter of fact, they have given up the second most total rush yards in the league, and they are dead last, ahead of the Chiefs, ahead of the Seahawks, ahead of the Falcons in rush defense. 32nd. They're going to give it all to you on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to running. They were 25th last year in sacks on opposing quarterbacks, and they're only 16th this year. That doesn't really speak like it's going to be a transcendent move, like, okay, this is going to put us up, us getting more sacks on the quarterback at this rate is going to make us take that leap. No, you bring in Akeem Hicks. I don't know what you're sending out the door. I'm sure you can work it out fairly well. We've got smart guys that play for the Chargers and are associating with the Chicago Bears. But, I mean, they need more to contend in the AFC at the end of the day. 11th most points per game given up in the NFL contributes highly to your defensive line not winning the battles at the line of scrimmage. You got to go get Akeem Hicks. Absolutely go grab him. He would be a huge value for you. Two more players before we get out of cuffing season here, NFL trade deadline edition. Guys, it's getting cold. It is absolutely getting cold. What players need some love from a team? And if you want to give something to your loved ones, speaking of it getting cold, we got the Petty Sports hoodies, nice and comfortable. I'm not wearing it tonight because I sweat in the igloo, but Petty Sports hoodies are very nice. Grab one for the gift. You thinking about buying the American Eagle hoodie, the Nike hoodie? Nah. Support black businesses. Buy a Petty Sports hoodie. Make it happen for us. We'll make it happen for you. But it is getting cold outside in cuffing season. And where would you send Eric Ebron? Well, I'm going to tell you, I think the New Orleans Saints should make a call for him. Because you talk about Drew Brees. I know he's not there anymore. But you talk about the system that Sean Payton's had from 2006 to 2020. Drew Brees was a different man with a tight end next to him. Jameis Winston in the same system. If anything, it's a security blanket. Jameis Winston in the same system could be more comfortable, could have a security blanket, could have a Jimmy Graham, could have not a Travis Kelce, but could have a, fail-safe like a Mike Gesicki or a TJ Hawkinson, guys of that caliber. But when you talk about Eric Ebron, like, let's not forget he was a 6'7", 5'6", 700 yard receiving tight end, could get you touchdowns, could make it happen in the red zone. And, Eric Ebron got asked the other day, how do you feel about your reduced role with the Pittsburgh Steelers? He said, hey, it's hard, man. It's hard, but I want to win, and I want to be a professional. Eric Ebron is not getting used correctly right now. God, I know Jamila's up in here. How dare you say you trade away my tight end? There's no way. He's the third best tight end in the league. There's actually no comments from Jamila. Maybe she got off here. Maybe she was tired of hearing me. Who knows? But Eric Ebron, Saints, give him a call. You need somebody. Definitely need somebody. There's no tight end. Yeah, I love Juwan Johnson. Adam Troutman, name never gets called. Garrett Griffith, I think last time I heard his name called was in the NFC Championship when he had like a fullback receiving touchdown. I'm not hating on the guy. But I was really upset when Jared Cook got out of the building, and we really need to get Eric Ebron in there. Now, last gentleman here, Xavier Rhodes needs a new home. He absolutely needs a new home. He's been a little troublesome since he's come off the injury, of course. But when you talk about a team that could use him, because we said that their pass defense is atrocious, and we can agree it's atrocious. It was the inconsistent defense we were talking about earlier. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. Tell me if the Baltimore Ravens actually need another corner. Because they do. They absolutely do. Marlon Humphrey just got toasted. And I know Xavier Rhodes is not a Marlon Humphrey. So get out of your feelings. Hop out of the comments if you're going to hit me with some illogical stuff. Only facts on the line. Only facts in the comments. 678-871-9602. Xavier Rhodes to the Baltimore Ravens. You need something back there. And I'm not going to say, move the house, sell the farm, go get him. You absolutely have to. It's a franchise deciding move. If we don't do, we're not going to get into the Super Bowl. Calm down. I'm not going there. I'm not going to say that. But Xavier Rhodes could help out a Ravens defense that has really been trying to pull the pieces together for the passing defense for the good part of the season. And again, when you talk about Baltimore defense, John Harbaugh, that culture, everything the Ravens defense has been time in and time out, and now you're falling short in the passing defensive game, that's going to be tough. Give Xavier Rhodes a call, and he'll make it happen for you. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you are from the city of Atlanta, moving on to this next topic here, if you are from the city of Atlanta, I absolutely need you to call the show right now. 678-871-9602. Please get in the comments because this segment here is going to pull a lot of heartstrings. It's going to get a lot of people in their feelings. And you might ask if you ever want to watch petty sports again. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to get real up here, okay? So there are 3 Atlanta sports teams right now that are chasing championships. You got the Atlanta Braves in the World Series, down 4-1 right now. Might be a 1-1 tie. I think the Braves could still pull it out. We have the Georgia Bulldogs, number 1 team in the nation, doing what they do best, hopefully. Defense is great. Offense isn't what it was, but they're starting to put up points now as we go through. And then we've also got the Atlanta Hawks, who there was no fluke they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We watched them play well against Philly. We watched Trae Young roll his ankle in the Bucs series. The Atlanta Hawks could have won the finals last year. The Atlanta Hawks, the way that they were able to push through that NBA season with all the injuries, I mean, no Cam Reddish, no DeAndre Hunter, losing people. You know, Trae Young doesn't play, and Lou Williams is like, I got it. 25, 30 points, no problem. I can do that. This is what I used to do. 6 men like Lou will. Absolutely. You know that the Atlanta Hawks can run. You know that the Bulldogs can make a run. You know that the Atlanta Braves can make a run. But the ultimate question is, who breaks this curse? And please don't get mad at me for the graphic here, but we had to put it into perspective, guys. It's been a Super Bowl. It's been a national championship. It's now a World Series. It should have been a World Series appearance last year. The middle 2 scores don't really matter. 20-0, you didn't know how to pick up an onside kick, and Nick Foles torched you when it was 26-10. Go figure. Regular season game, right? There's been more Bulldog upsets and more Braves upsets and other notable Falcons upsets. I mean, we can talk about the 2012-2013 NFC Championship when they should have called pass interference against the Niners, but that's neither here nor there. We'll start with the Atlanta Braves, though. More Braves talk. Yeah, if you don't like baseball, sorry. Braves are in the World Series. You're in the city. Get over it, buddy. Can the Braves break the curse? Could the Atlanta Braves, without their best player, without their best pitcher, without home field advantage, which should have been sellers at the deadline, I mean, you name it, with their pitcher breaking their leg in Game 1 of the World Series, can the Atlanta Braves break the curse? I'm going to say absolutely yes, the Atlanta Braves can break the curse. And great question by Bell earlier. When you talk about the Atlanta Braves potentially right now being America's team, everybody out there is rooting for the Atlanta Braves. Nobody wants to see the cheating Astros win. And it is what it ain't. Banging on trash cans. Manfred's trash. You should have reprimanded them. They didn't strip the title. Whatever. Okay? They played 162 games. They're the best team in the American League. And they're playing the Atlanta Braves. And the Atlanta Braves right now, if they're going to make it happen, it's got to be this season. Because you're telling me that the Atlanta Braves, again, without your best player, without your best pitcher, this is clearly not the best Braves team. Oddly enough, being in the World Series, this is not the best Braves team, I guess, talent-wise, off paper, that we've had. But you want to talk about love, hunger, confidence, chemistry. There is nothing scarier than a team with confidence. There's nothing scarier than an 0-15 NFL team walking into 0-16 now team walking into their final game with all the confidence in the world that they can beat those guys. The Atlanta Braves absolutely will do it this year. They have to do it this year. And the Atlanta Braves are in the position to where they can save the city. They can help the city. We are starved. We are absolutely starved. We saw what the Dogs did. We saw what the Braves did last year. We saw what they did the year before. We've seen what the Falcons have done. Atlanta Braves, it's time to step up. It's time to win the title for the city. And at the end of the day, I think you have the keys to curing the curse, breaking it right here, right now. Again, guys, 678-871-9602. I know I got some piped up Atlanta fans out there probably wondering what the hell I'm saying. Andre, appreciate you. Nice trio, Herter, Collins, and Young. We'll go ahead and get into them next since you were bringing them up here, sir. I like Ebron, but I don't think he's the best. There goes Jamila. You're late, ma'am. All right. Atlanta Hawks. Will the Atlanta Hawks actually be able to break the Atlanta curse? And I'm going to say yes again, because the Atlanta Hawks, it was no fluke when they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was no fluke that Trae Young balled out in the Eastern Conference Finals. It was no fluke that we defeated the number 1 seed on the road in Game 7 against a clearly better roster. That was not a fluke. And when you talk about the Atlanta Hawks, not the Atlanta Braves. I'm glancing at the game over here. When you talk about the Atlanta Hawks with, again, great one there, Andre. Of course, Trae Young, John Collins, Kevin Herter, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish. And I mean, the Hawks just continue to build. The Hawks continue to build around Trae Young like Dallas should have and continues to wish like they could build around Luka Doncic. But they're not going to. They're gonna bring in a Kristaps Porzingis who has a lot of unnecessary hype, but Atlanta is gonna go pick a smash mouth guy in John Collins, who's gonna go get a hustler in Cam Reddish, who's gonna go get a great big guy, maybe a mid-game guy in DeAndre Hunter. And of course we have Trae Young, the absolute star. But when you have this type of roster, when you have this type of energy, this type of chemistry, this type of love for the city, who expected the Hawks to make this run? Shout out Kenneth Spradlin. I know you called it. They were building the Splash Bros from day one with Travis Schlenk when they went and got Trae Young, when they went and got Cam Reddish, when they went and got a little bit of a Kevin Herter. I mean, that whole draft haul with what those guys were able to do is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to say yes. If the Atlanta Braves want to make a run at this, it's not the Atlanta Braves. If the Atlanta Hawks want to make a run at this, it doesn't necessarily have to be this season. So I will rank them a little bit. Braves will be 1. Sorry, guys. Hawks will be 2. Now let's talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs, number 1 team in the country. We've seen what the Bulldogs have been. The Bulldogs have been flirting with greatness for arguably the past decade and have yet to find it. They have yet to go out there and win the big game. Look, Freddy Freeman got asked about it. That they, for lack of a better word, said, hey, Freddie, what do you think about the Atlanta sports curse? What do you think about what people say? And Freddie said, hey, man, look, they're not wrong. We haven't won the big game. And until, this is not exact words, but for lack of better ones, until we win the big game, we're going to continue to have that narrative. We're going to continue to have that narrative until we get the monkey off of our back, until we can win it all. And with the Bulldogs, they're feeling great because Alabama lost. Oh, they can't believe it. Alabama lost. Oh, my God, the world is falling apart. Don't we see Alabama lose every few years and they still come out on top with Nick Saban? Don't we see Alabama go through a little bit of trials and tribulations and still have a top 2, top 1 Alabama in the field recruiting class? Don't we see that all the time? Yeah, I'm gonna sit up here and say that the Bulldogs have one team to beat this year. It's not Ole Miss. It's not Oklahoma. It's not whatever sleeper you think is going to come into the college football playoff bubble. Can Georgia finally beat Nick Saban? Can a Saban disciple finally crack the code? Because my answer right now is no. I don't think the Dogs can do it right now. When you talk about, when you just get down to the coaching, when you get down to how we've seen both of these teams be able to perform in years past as well. And again, just like with the Hawks, this is not the best Georgia Bulldogs team we've seen. We know they play great defense. We know they can run the football, okay? We know that they're giving up like single-digit points a game. This is Georgia every single year. Every single year. And that's why I said it about a month ago. If the Dogs are going to win the title, it has to be this year. It absolutely has to be. I'll buy in on them winning it, but I'm not going to hold my breath because I like to breathe and probably see my 25th birthday and continue the show. But if we're talking about the Dogs over the Tide, it is a little rough. I will put them at 3rd. But the Braves have a great chance right now. It is 5-1. Oh, Fried. Max Fried, only 59 pitches in, bottom of the 4th. I mean, we still got a lot of game to play, okay? No, major freak out mode here. Okay, we're not going to bug out about that. But Braves 1, Hawks number 2, Georgia Bulldogs number 3, and I'd love to see them all do it. Hey, I'd of course love to see these Tampa sports teams and how these LA sports teams and all these other people out here are just winning title after title after title. We're getting there. It's just time to finally make it happen. No callers. It's okay. I forgive y'all for that one. I thought that was going to be the segment where people were firing off in the comments and, oh my God, did you really just say that? Oh, roll tide. All right, Andre, you're blocked, bro. Sorry, can't do that. Been following Collins since day one. Andre Yelvert's in the second here. Been following Collins since day one. The addition of Trae Young just sealed the deal. Shaq and Penny all over again. Bell, do you think that's true? Bell can't hear me. No worries. So Andre said, been following John Collins since day one. The addition of Trae Young just sealed the deal. Shaq and Penny all over again. Thoughts on that, Bell?
I think it's some partial truth to that. John Collins being a part of this team, I was so happy that they finally got the deal done.
Right.
Because he and Trae were the first two to kind of develop that chemistry to get them over the hump, and start gelling as a team. And, that was the core right there initially. You had Trae and John Collins.
Yep.
And I think when he went out for those 25 games because of the PEDs or performance-enhancing drugs or whatever he did,
right,
that kind of wrecked things for a hot second and, kind of screwed the season around.
Mm-hmm.
But they worked their way back into the mix. But, this is a work in progress, and they've seemingly, like with the Braves almost, I'll make that comparison, with Alex Anthopoulos. He's added the right pieces at the right time for these guys to be successful. Same thing with the Hawks.
Yep.
He has Travis Slink has added the right pieces at the right times over these past couple of years. Even with the contracts, he's doing a great job with the contracts.
Yep.
Not overextending himself, and seemingly so far I think the only two that aren't signed are Hunter and Reddish, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think
Reddish got a deal, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I feel like I remember hearing about that.
Okay, you may be correct. I'm really not that
tapped into the money.
Yeah, so I think it's going to work. These guys are young. This is a really talented core a core group of guys, and they play really well together.
Yeah, they do.
And we're only scratching the surface. Like
exactly.
This season right here will be the telltale sign of what's to come with the Hawks.
Yep. I highly agree. Appreciate that input, Bell. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's a bold move there. That's a real bold move there to say Shaq and Penny Part 2. But ladies and gentlemen, we're back to the NFL. You can turn your ears back on now. I guess we're done talking about all these Atlanta teams. Don't sleep on them, man. They got a great thing going. We've seen this in sports. LA teams grouping together, Tampa teams grouping together. Let's see if they can do it and shatter this. Oh, you took it away from me, G. It's okay. It's okay, bro. No worries. No worries. See if they can shatter this right here, because this is what irritates a lot of fans. It irritates me too. Look, they've been in big spots. It's time to make it happen. Absolutely time to make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the weekend watch for Petty Sports NFL Week 8. The best games in the NFL in Week 8. Who's winning? Who's losing? What's going to happen? Why am I picking them? Well, let's get into it, and I'll tell you. First game up top, Packers at Cardinals. And Cardinals are favored by 6. Cardinals are favored by 6 in this game, and when you think about a Packers team that's won 6 straight, haven't looked bad really since the Saints game, but they have been quiet offensively. It hasn't been, it hasn't been the same, it hasn't been the same, Packers high-flying offense. It hasn't been, that real explosive type of team that they've wanted to be lately. But when you also look at the Cardinals being 7-0, absolutely lighting the league on fire. Kyler Murray is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's up there for MVP voting. And at the end of the day, he's got his team undefeated. He's saving Cliff Kingsbury's job. And the veteran leadership is absolutely working when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals. But speaking of the Packers here, so I think this game is actually really easy. I'm going to take Arizona to win, probably by 10+. If they won by 14+, it would not surprise me. Because at the end of the day, we've seen, okay, look, check this out. The last 2 really NFC championship games that Aaron Rodgers has played, when he played the Bucs early on, when he played the Saints in week 1, Aaron Rodgers absolutely folds when his back is against the wall. And I know he can engineer comeback drives. So before you hop in on me, when you're talking about him facing adversity, maybe the offensive line is breaking down, and he even had some years there where he was sacked the most in the league and was still slinging the ball around the yard. But when you're talking about his weapons, we already see some of the not huge trust with now Bob Tonyan and whether he's getting the looks or the snaps or not. And, MVS and Alan Lazard. When it's not going Aaron Rodgers' way and he doesn't have full control of the situation, he folds. He folds. And you can't tell me that he doesn't. We have seen it time and time and time again. And people get pissed off at me say, Adam, how can you say that one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL folds in a big moment? Watch the tape. Watch the tape. What does he do in the big moments? Where is he throwing the football? What kind of decisions is he making? So I'm sure you can tell from my rate here, I have the Packers losing. But the reason the Cardinals will win and will win big and convincingly to now move to 8-0 in the NFL season, Kyler Murray is being very open right now with the Arizona Cardinals. We know he's not really the captain yet. He's not really the guy who's got the big locker room voice and he's leading the pregame chants. And he could be, okay? Don't get me wrong. We know Kyler, K1, QB1, number 1 overall pick, best quarterback in the league. He's got the ones running for him, right? Number 1 on the jersey. Love the dude. Want to get his jersey. But when you talk about, and Fees and I were crapping on it earlier in the year. I remember specifically saying, I don't like these moves I'm seeing. And looking back, it was kind of dumb because I wasn't a fan of the A.J. Green move, really on the back nine of his career. Wasn't a fan of the J.J. Watt move. First 5 years, great. Last 5 years, not so good. He's getting pressure on the quarterback now. And then you talk about going and making a let's win now, let's win this year type of move. Zach Ertz, baby. Zach Ertz, yeah. Zach Ertz has had a couple of rough seasons, but when Zach Ertz is in a right system and he's going, and Zach Ertz loves to be involved in the aerial attack. Zach Ertz, absolutely, he's going to have that relationship with Kyler Murray, and I can't wait to see it grow because every quarterback is different when Zach Ertz comes around. They know the veteran leadership is producing. AJ Green, you can't tell me otherwise. The top 3 receivers right now for the Cardinals are DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and AJ Green. And Kyler is comfortable with him. Already through 7 games, Kyler Murray is so comfortable with AJ Green. The Packers won't have Devontae Adams. The Packers won't have MVS more than likely. He's doubtful because of an ankle injury. Pull him in fantasy. I hate that Devontae's not playing, but it's okay. I got CeeDee Lamb. We're fine. And then you also have, how did I just lose that receiver's name? MVS, Devontae Adams. Oh, Alan Lazard as well. Alan Lazard just got put on the COVID list. How resourceful can Aaron Rodgers get? How much help does Kyler Murray already have? Again, Cardinals -6. I'll take the Cardinals to win by 10 to 14 points. Wesley, where you at, brother? I'm talking about your Titans again. Titans versus Colts. Titans are 5-2. Kind of a weird 5-2. They're viewed as that team to where, okay, yeah, they're kind of boring. They're just going to pound the ball, and they're going to eat 25 minutes off the clock with that big old dude, number 22 right there, Derrick Henry. But when you also talk about how the Colts have been playing as well, and I know they're a 3-4 team, they had a big win for them, even though I'm not going to hype them up. San Francisco's a bad football team. They're 2-4. The Super Bowl year was a fluke. Kyle Shanahan is out after this year, maybe even if not the midseason. God, I don't know. But when you talk about the Colts getting this win, Carson Wentz, 11 touchdowns, 1 pick. I'm not going to gawk at the 1 pick. Yeah, great job. You're taking care of the ball. You led the NFL in interceptions and were close to it for a couple years. 1 year you actually led, I want to say, in turnovers as well. So Carson Wentz is trying to play better for this Colts team. He's trying to be more gentle with the ball. He's trying to trust Jonathan Taylor more. He's trying to get that relationship with Frank Reich still going. But when you talk about the way the Titans have played the last 2 weeks, they have instantly reinserted themselves back into at least okay, yeah, we can kind of let you in the Super Bowl bubble type of conversation, but if you get one more real statement win, because if the Chiefs were anybody else, if the Chiefs were any other elite team, because they're not, they're 3-4, they're below 500, they're last in the division. The Chiefs love to turn the football over. That's not a big win. And I love the win against Buffalo. Josh Allen did slip, but I still love the win. I'm not going to take anything away from you. You still played down to the wire and showed the league that there's enough movement, that there's enough chemistry, that there's enough of a game plan to slow down the big Josh Allen and the roaring Bills defense. At the end of the day, I am going to like this Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry matchup. I expect a lot of slow football here. I expect a lot of, trench work back and forth. How are the gaps going to look? Is Tannehill going to be able to get comfortable? Because I know the Colts are dealing with some injuries right now, and I want to check the line. So the Colts are +1.5. If that tells you anything, Vegas knows something. I mean, I know it too, but Vegas is hinting at something that we might not know. Okay? Vegas knows that it's a 1.5 point spread because of how both of these teams have played. With the win over the Niners, the Colts just kind of feel like they've got a surge going right now. And look, I'd love to see it. The Colts have absolutely disappointed. I'm so pissed off by what the Colts have been. They have one of the best rosters in the NFL. I said it once and I'll say it again. If the Colts had Matt Ryan, they'd be a Super Bowl contender. 100%. If the Colts acquired a halfway decent quarterback. And look, Carson Wentz is not playing bad. But he's not your franchise guy. He's not your team leader. He's not going to be your Super Bowl winner. Don't talk to me about that BS ring that Nick Foles won. I understand he won 11 games to get you the home field. But Carson Wentz is not the guy. And let's just call it how it is. I have the Titans winning this football game. I can maybe see the spread covered, to be honest with you. Plus 1.5. Like I said, it's going to be a grinded out, who's going to slip first type of football game. And I think we'll have the Titans come out on top here. Steelers versus Browns. I know you're probably wondering why you're going to put the Steelers and the Browns on the lineup, but this is another divisional game. You have the Steelers at 3-3, and you have the Browns at 4-3. The Browns now have expectations. And what's crazy is Fee said it last week. We talked about them being a disappointing team. Were the Cleveland Browns really playing any worse or any better than last year? They were 4-2 actually last year versus being 3-3 this year. Expectations are different. The roster feels different. Coach of the year, Baker Mayfield, an approved year. We have the best rushing attack in the league. Our front seven is great. Yada, yada, yada. We know about the Browns. Okay, 11 games last year. It's a good team. But at the end of the day, I think they're underperforming. I think they will beat the Steelers. But when you also talk about, I didn't think the Steelers are going to be anything. I didn't think the Steelers are going to be any sort of threat. I know here comes Jamila in the comments. I think the Steelers are going to be any sort of threat or, they were going to be elite at any position. I mean, yeah, they got TJ Watt and they've got Minka Fitzpatrick. And we know that they have that defensive culture. But is it enough to stop Baker? Is it enough to uphold a Nick Chubb who, we don't know if he's going to play or not. He's trying to come back, hopeful to play in the next game. No Kareem Hunt. I mentioned the trade there that the Browns could make for a Marlon Mack. But the Browns overall this year, they have to win this game because this one, not the Browns overall this year. The Browns overall in this game have to come out victorious. This is a division game against the Steelers. The Browns is the Browns, right? You remember that comment? Take that comment and run into this game with it. Absolutely. Smack them out of the water. Big Ben is trash. Okay. Big Ben is looking as bad as Drew Brees did in his last year, as bad as Peyton Manning did in his last year. And at the end of the day, how long are you going to let an old, broken down quarterback who doesn't work out or study the playbook lead your football team? I know it wasn't a whole lot to say there about the Steelers and the Browns, but it's going to be an odd game. It's going to be a good game because it's a divisional matchup and the Steelers are trying to surge to that 500 record. If the Browns drop to 4-4, you're going to have a switch to a division place. There's a lot of stakes on the line here. I will take the Browns to win, and the Browns are -3.5. That feels fair. That absolutely feels fair. I can see the Browns being able to cover that spread. And I got to talk about them before we hit the sponsor break and get our NFL Week 8 picks in. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus yours truly, New Orleans Saints. How are the Saints going to look in this game? How are the Bucs going to look in this game? Well, we know the Bucs are a 6-1 team. They're playing lights out. Some people have them as the best team in the NFL. Tom Brady is, MVP runs, slinging the ball around the yard, NFL records, trying to get some of that defensive culture to pick back up for him because we know the secondary isn't, it's not everybody's favorite. But at the end of the day, you're talking about Tom Brady and you're talking about Jameis Winston facing off in the Saints' second ever dome game. Of course, you're going to have Tom Brady playing better than Jameis Winston. Of course, you're, probably, not even probably, the Saints going into the Monday Night Football game. So hard to watch that 13-10 win over a bad Seattle team. The Saints going into that Monday Night Football game, they were 29th in the league in yards, and they were 31st in the league in points. Or it might have been flipped, excuse me. But they are like bottom 5 in major offensive categories. Yeah, they can run the football, and they just got Mark Ingram back, and they've got Alvin Kamara. But, Kamara accounted for 65% of the offense in that Monday Night Football game. And, yeah, he got NSA Offensive Player of the Week, but, Jesus, he touched the ball 20-plus times. When you get those type of touches, when you get that type of production, you're going to be able to make it happen for the Saints. And then you talk about the Bucs. We can't say enough about the Bucs team. We know they can play well. We know they've got Tom Brady. We know they've got Bruce Arians. We know that they're defending champs. And at the end of the day, they're going to come to New Orleans, and they're going to play a smash mouth game. And the Saints are going to be in the dome. Saints are plus 5.5 in this one. Kind of a big line. Plus 5, plus 6, whatever you want to say. And I think the Saints are going to play them hard. I think the Saints will play them really tough here. The Saints have been getting guys back from IR. They're probably going to dig a little more into that offensive scheme when Mark Ingram was there. And I'm going to take the Saints to upset. I will take the Saints to upset in this game. It is going to be close, and I know everybody's going to take the Buccaneers. I know the team is different with the players, and I know the quarterback is different. But you know that Sean Payton and Dennis Allen had Brady's number outside of the playoffs, okay? And I know the playoffs is when it matters. They're 1-1 in the dome. Go figure. But the Saints are going to take this game. They're going to move to 5-2, and the Bucs are going to move to 6-2, and the New Orleans Saints will be there competing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm waiting for that Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore matchup. I wish Michael Thomas was going to be back. I will have the Saints winning this football game, and it will be with the upset. Bet the Saints, get your money, cover the spread, do your thing. Who Dat Nation, Bell, I'm flipping it back to you for the 9:40 break before we get to the NFL picks.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that, Adam. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in once again to the Wednesday night edition of Petty Sports, all brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. Thank you for joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Everybody that's chimed in the chat room, wishing my guy Adam a happy birthday. See you out there, West. It took you long enough to get to the show, man. Where you been, man? You know what I'm saying? We talked about Tennessee and all that good stuff, man. So, yeah, man, thank you for sharing the show. Go to the different podcast platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcast shows, and type in Petty Sports. That's with a Z, Petty Sports with a Z. Download the show, listen to it while you're riding in your car or at home doing what you do. Like, follow, share, comment in the section on YouTube after you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. Let us know you're liking the page. And if you have a comment, we'd love to hear from you. Go to kingsbroadcasting.com, spend some money, buy some merch. The holiday season is approaching. We have a lot of great gift ideas over there. T-shirts, hoodies, tumblers, mugs, all that good stuff. Just go check us out and spend some money and help support what we're doing over here to bring forth this great content that we do every week. Call in 678-871-9602, 678-871-9602. We thank you once again. We really appreciate it. And support black business, support black businesses, because we do. ATL ho. Now back to the regular schedule program.
You already know what time it is. You are live and direct with Petty Sports. We have about 20 minutes here left on the show. Guys, it's been so fun. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. All the callers chopping it up with me. Sean, love you, bro. Carlos, love you, bro. Andrew, love you, bro. Y'all have been absolutely great. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for the love for the segments. Thank you for the like, the comment, the subscribe, the share, the everything. Share it with the friends, coworkers, sisters, brothers, friend. Share it with everybody. Everybody needs to know about Petty Sports every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's not about where Petty Sports is. It's about where you listen. Let's go ahead and get into the NFL Week 8 picks. But we'll stop first. We're going to take a look back at Week 7, G. I know you got the nice graphic-y up there for us. Going to show us how the picks played out for Famous Facts, Fees, and I'll triple F off of the United game. No worries, though. We're holding it down here. Fees and I both went 9-4. Love that Titans upset pick. Yeah, there you go, Wesley. I'll let you shake your tail feathers a little bit there. Pretty even picks across the board. Wow. How about the Bengals, though, with that upset? Absolutely. I picked my New Orleans Saints to win that one, but then I was a dummy and turned around and took the what's it called? Took the Niners. Did we really both? That has to be a typo. Did we really both pick the Eagles? There's no way. There is no way. I am looking right now because I think I botched that. There is no way that we both picked the Eagles. I'm so happy that Fees has sent this over to me. And I have Fees' picks as well. No, we didn't. No, we both took the Raiders. Yeah, we both took the Raiders. I'm dumb. That AF should be on the Raiders side. 71-36 for your boy, yours truly, Adam Lewis. And Triple F Famous Facts Fees at 68-39 on the season. You already know every single week in the NFL, we pick every single game from the best to the worst and everything in between. Let's go ahead and get into it. Packers and Cardinals. We already discussed this one. Packers are Packers are +6. Cardinals are -6. I think Cardinals will win. They got the better team. They got I think right now they have the better quarterback, the better offense. The coaching is comparable at this point. Look at the 7-0 Cardinals. And you want to talk about, the defense is better. Aaron Rodgers is missing a lot. His back is against the wall. Who knows how Aaron Rodgers might show out in this game? I am going to take the Arizona Cardinals to win. They will cover the spread. Bet your money. Bet Kyler. Start him up. Here we go. Panthers, Falcons. Falcons are -3 in this one, and I will take the Atlanta Falcons to win this game as well. They're at home. It's -3. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Kyle Pitts has immediately found himself into this offense, it feels like, the last weeks. Do you realize that the last 2 weeks have really given Kyle Pitts that record? And I'm not taking anything away from him. Kyle Pitts is a great player. He's a top receiver already in this league. You heard the names. He's got more yards than DeAndre Hopkins, Darren Waller, Adam Thielen, Keelan Allen. He can ball. And when you talk about Matt Ryan basically just replacing one pony, one unicorn with another, that's what it's turning into. Matt Ryan playing comfortably. The defense is trying to come around. And the Panthers were complete fool's gold at 3-0. Sam Darnold is reverting back. I've even heard crazy talks about, is Sam Darnold on the trade deadline? What the hell? Sam Darnold getting traded? He did get benched because he played horrible. And I'm not going to sit here and rag on him because he is missing Christian McCaffrey. But at the end of the day, the Atlanta Falcons will win this game. They will cover the spread. Bet your money, start them up, and here we go. Titans at Colts. We did go over this one as well. Colts are +1.5. I'm going to take the Titans to win here. Wesley, I'm really curious to say why you said that the Titans were going to lose this football game. Titans might lose. It could be a trap. Right, yeah, Honey Muffin. What is that, Mike? She over there saying sweet names, and she's going to be calling me Sugar Cookie before too long.
Yeah, I think her and Wesley got some kind of weird love affair going.
Oh, man. Always hopping in the chat. Appreciate you, Milo and Wesley. Appreciate everybody. Again, 678-871-9602. How rude of me. Famous Fees. I know he picked her because I got to keep you on the loop. So Fees will take the Cardinals. Fees will take Atlanta. I'm taking the Titans, and it looks like Fees will take the Titans as well. It's a little bit out of order, but I wanted to make sure he gets them in there. So Dolphins at Bills. Again, I do have the Titans win. They'll cover your spread. Bet your money. Or they could cover the spread. I know he said there's going to be a little bit of a tight game there. But now we have the Dolphins at the Bills. And the Bills are -13.5 at home. This will probably be the blowout of the weekend. Josh Allen's probably going to play well. Well, we saw kind of early on how the Dolphins did try to treat him. So he could have another one of those types of games. But overall, the 13.5 point spread should tell you Buffalo can absolutely win. Buffalo will absolutely win. They can cover and they will cover. Josh Allen over Tua, offense over defense, or offense over offense, defense over defense, coaching over coaching. It's all there. It's an easy one. Vegas knows, -13.5. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills won by another 28 to 35 points. Jeez, I forgot. Last time they played, 35-0. Yeah, Tua got hurt, but still, no points. And that's when a lot of people started talking about that Bills defense. And Fees will take Buffalo as well. Absolutely. So take the Bills, bet your money, win it, start them. Let's get it going. Bengals at Jets. And the Jets are +10.5 here, rightfully so. The Bengals are much better than the Jets. And, at one point, really not too long ago, we put the Bengals and the Jets kind of on the same level. They had the number 1 overall pick. The Jets with the number 2 overall pick. They've just been bad football teams for most of their recent memory. But now the Bengals taking the lead, understanding what they have to do. And at the end of the day, the Bengals are just head, shoulders, knees, and toes, eyebrows, ears, hairline, everything better than the New York Jets right now. Spread is -10.5 for the Bengals. I think they win. They cover. Bet your money. Put your players in. On to the next one. I know for a fact Fees is going to take the Bengals unless he's just going to be that guy and take NYJ. They don't deserve to be called JETS. Bad football team. NYJ. Shout out Mike on the Mike Sports for that one there. Steelers at Browns. We talked about this one as well. Browns are -3.5 here. This will be a good game, though. I think this will be a good game. You got the Steelers trying to get to 500. You have the Browns trying to avoid from falling to 500. And at the end of the day, the Browns are just a better football team. In a weird way, not by as much as you think. And expectations make it feel different. Previous years make it feel different. A lot of things in this season make it feel different for Cleveland. And I know they're dealing with injuries and the whole nine. Okay, it's not helping their case. But at the end of the day, you're able to do it without your stars on Thursday Night Football. So let's go in here. beat the Steelers again. Browns win. It's going to be a tough call on if they cover because it could be a tight game. But the Browns win. Bet your money. Put your players in. Let's get it going. Eagles at Lions. Lions plus 3.5. I almost said minus 3.5. Definitely not that. Eagles and Lions with Detroit at plus 3.5. And the 3.5 point line, I mean, the Eagles obviously are not a, team that's really going to give you trouble. I thought they would have been one of those teams coming into the year where it was like a Panthers or a Vikings or even kind of like, the Patriots where they were just going to try to hang around in the game and really make it tough for you and make you super nervous. God, am I going to lose a trap game? But at the end of the day, who knows what's going to happen with them? I mean, it's arguable. You could say after the Lions came out the way they did against the Rams, they are absolutely hungry for a victory right here. I'm not going to be silly, though, because I will take Jalen Hurts over Jared Goff, even though Jalen Hurts is trying to, still trying to find himself. I think at the end of the day, when they both hit the top of their, NFL careers, it's going to be Jalen Hurts is going to be better than Jared Goff. Jalen Hurts will be an MVP one day. And I'm going to take the Eagles here to win. And I don't think they'll cover the spread. No. These teams are kind of evenly matched at the end of the day. But I will take the Eagles to win here. Rams at Texans. Texans are plus 14.5. Wow. Rams, we don't even need to dig into this one. The Rams are probably going to run all over them. Brandon Cooks might feel a little upset because now Mark Ingram's out of the building and now you're having to play your old Rams team. But, at the end of the day, there's really nothing here to chop up. The Rams are going to be the better football team. They're going to cover the spread. They're going to win, and they're going to take it home. 49ers at Bears. And the Bears are only plus 3.5. And I'll go out on a limb here. This is where I'll take the upset. This is where I'll take the Bears to win this game. This is where I will take the Bears to be able to win you your money. They're obviously going to cover your spread. I look for Justin Fields to have an okay game here. Because Justin Fields, at the end of the day, he's been a nice, talented quarterback. But when it comes to, he's a rookie at the end of the day. So when it comes to some of the routine plays, reading through your defenses, making the right decisions on that, on the fly, I guess, or however it might come down, like Justin Fields has, had a little bit of problems there. But with the way the Niners are playing, they were at home. And again, shout out to the Colts, winning the game on the road, crappy weather. And the Niners were at home. They had the advantage. They kind of know what the weather's going to be like. Maybe they're not used to playing in it. But, the Niners they're not up there with the elites anymore. The Niners had the one fluke Super Bowl year. And at the end of the day, it is what it is for the Niners. I think the Bears win here. I don't think the Bears win big necessarily, but they win the football game. Bet your money, get your points, take the upset, on to the next one. Patriots at Chargers. The New England Patriots facing the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chargers are minus 5.5. But that should tell you something, though. With the Chargers being minus 5.5, coming off of a blowout against a Baltimore team, against a Patriots team who really won't have any reason to hang around with them, besides the man on the sideline who likes to mumble all the time, Bill Belichick, maybe the greatest coach of all time, greatest defensive coach still in the game. He was able to stifle Justin Herbert last year. Like I said, worst game he's ever played, shutout, no touchdowns, no points, horrible yards, completion percentage, passer rating. We saw it all. And now you're going to have the Chargers wanting revenge in that game. Justin Herbert, being a top 10 quarterback as a sophomore. That's great. We know who Justin Herbert is. This team is now healthy. They're trying to take the leap. They're trying to have more guys come in. And, they can maybe make a move at the trade deadline as well. I will take the Chargers here to win. I don't know if they'll cover the spread, though, to be honest with you, because Belichick knows who Herbert is. There we go, Braves. Get him on the bases. Let's make this absolutely happen. Chargers will win this game, though. I think Chargers win this game. They win it close, but they'll win this game, and I don't think they cover the spread. Jags at Seahawks. Seahawks minus 3.5 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Absolutely wow. And again, Vegas is showing you, look, when you don't have Russell Wilson, when you're not able to play well, when you have Geno Smith basically engineering your team right now, and, you're able to get locked the way that you are. And I know it's tough right now for Seattle. I know that they don't have their guy. They don't have Russell Wilson. They are not able to, make things happen. They want to be able to be a much bigger team. They had multiple times, in and out to where, is the Seattle team going to be what they want to be, or are they not? Are they going to deal with injuries, or are they not? Are going to be coached well, or are they not? I think the Seattle Seahawks, at the end of the day, they are a better team than Jacksonville. I will take the Seahawks to win, but I don't take them to cover the spread. Oddly enough, Jacksonville will be scrappy in this game. Trevor Lawrence will come out. He'll have some Marvin Jones fun. He'll be able to give the ball to James Robinson. They're just coming off the the bye week there, and I think they'll feel good. Seahawks win. Close one, though. Makes the fan base really, really nervous. Already talked about Bucs Saints. Saints are +5. I think the Saints do win this one. It will be a close game. The defense, I think, will be able to stifle Tom Brady. Different players, yes. Yes, same system, same coordinators, same coach on the defensive side of the football. You're not just going to flip your defensive scheme immediately because the New Orleans Saints already have a good defense early on in the year. It usually takes New Orleans, 6, 7, 8 weeks to figure it out. What are they going to do through the air? How are they going to do with the potential yards per game or points per game? Red zone defense, they're doing all of that. They're absolutely doing all of that. They're able to stifle these teams. And I know, Fees, you called us a fraudulent 4-2 team, but we're going to be 5-2. The Bucs are going to be 6-2. And maybe that week one overreaction won't be as crazy as we thought it was going to be. I'm not saying they're going to win the NFC South, but let a couple injuries, calls, plays, games go a certain way. You have New Orleans Saints potentially competing for the NFC South. You do have the Saints to win. Saints will upset. Bet your money. Start your players. Let's go. Washington football team at the Denver Broncos. Broncos are -3.5, and this is going to be just I don't even know how this game is going to be. Washington's, they're like dead last in offense, dead last in defense. Broncos were a really fraudulent 3-0 football team. They have now not won any games since going 3-0. And at the end of the day, I don't know. This pick is hard. The Broncos are obviously the better team, but when you have a bad team playing another bad team, it's really any given Sunday type of mentality. I'll keep it simple, though. Let's not outthink the room. Broncos win. They don't cover the spread, so be careful with your money there, but I will take the Broncos, not the points, to win this football game. Last two here, we are 9:56. Guys, appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Last two picks are on the show before we roll out. Cowboys at Vikings. And this is an interesting one. The Vikings are only +2.5 in this football game at home. So Vegas smells something in there. The Vikings are maybe smelling blood in the water. Who knows? Okay. I think it's because the Cowboys coming off the bye week. They might be sluggish. You're obviously looking for them to be able to rebound. You're looking for the Cowboys to be able to win big against the Vikings because that's what they should do. They just had a close game with the Patriots. A lot of people were saying, what do we do with the Cowboys? It was this whole Patriots game. Don't overthink it. The Cowboys are still a consistent team. Yes, they could work on the defense more, but it's better than what it used to be. We talked about Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott. They're looking great out there. CeeDee Lamb is emerging. Zeke is trying to get back to himself, and the Cowboys overall will just be the better football team in this game. They will win. They will cover the spread, so do bet your money there. Take the Cowboys and the points. We're moving on. Last game here, our Monday night football game. Giants at Chiefs. Chiefs -10. And call me crazy, but this could be a game where the Chiefs don't cover the spread. They really could. Think about it. At the end of the day, Chiefs been a bad football team. They're turning over the ball a lot. The Giants just blew out the Panthers. They're trying to be that scrappy team. I'm not taking the Giants to win, so don't think I'm going to say the Giants are going to win here. The Chiefs will win. They are -10. I think Patrick Mahomes has a bounce-back game. Andy Reid has a bounce-back game. Both defenses are bad, but obviously Mahomes is going to torch the New York defense more than Daniel Jones will torch the Chiefs defense. Who knows? It could be a shootout. It could be a blowout. Chiefs win. I'm not touching those points, though, just because these two teams they're really not that far from each other at the end of the day when you talk about how they're playing overall in the season with the chemistry. Chiefs win here. That is going to wrap up tonight's episode of Petty Sports, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate everybody calling the show, liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell, tuning in with you, boy, on his birthday, his first ever 2-hour live show, holding it down for Famous Facts Fees. Guys, I had so much fun. It was everything that I thought it would have been and more. Team, you're absolutely great. Babe, thank you so much for sitting in the studio tonight and bringing us sweets. Fees, I miss you, bro. I know you'll be back next week. Again, it's not about it's not about where Petty Sports is. I almost said that backwards. It's about where you consume your content. We're absolutely everywhere. If you can just find a few places to subscribe and give us some engagement, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Really trying to push on there. Y'all been super awesome. You already know next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, the crew is back. No more imaginary friend. No more Petty Sports over here. See the logo right there. All right, guys. Breaking down the trade deadline next week as well. Petty Sports is out. We'll see y'all next time. It was lit.